Welcome to fall.
Welcome September.
We've officially made it to the Burr months.
Brr, brr.
So now we can all officially celebrate fall without people being like, it's too early.
We got that yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Bought a pumpkin pie, and the woman checking our receipt when we left was being so mean about us getting a pumpkin pie and how it was too early.
She was like, "No, it's way too early for that. I don't know how people are already doing pumpkin." So, well, we buy it.
Like, why is it on the shelf then?
Exactly. Like, you guys are the ones selling it. Well, like, don't be mad that I'm giving you my money. Jeez.
For real. I was clipping coupons for shopping today,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a coupon for like apple and pumpkin pies, and I was like, oh hell yeah. And
Mm.
then those glass bottle Starbucks coffee, there's the pumpkin spice ones out. Oh my God.
We
For
saw that.
buy two, get one free.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, yoink.
I almost bought that flavor, but I had to get a different one. I couldn't bring myself to do that one yet.
Not me. I've already got all the pumpkin flavors, all of the salted caramel flavors.
Even our air freshener is like this pumpkin roll. Oh my God, it smells so good.
Yes.
I need to buy like 30.
Fun fact, when I first met your sister, that's all she smelled like was fucking maple and caramel. She smelled like a fucking glazed donut, like one of the maple donuts.
I didn't smell it.
That was my fault.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
was.
that's one of the things that drew me into her. I'm fat, big back, big back. I smelt that shit and I was on her crack. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, oh, this is the one.
I was like, oh, she smells sweet. I wasn't even a fan of sweets, dude. But I was like, somebody that smells like food, I'm in.
You're ridiculous.
Little did I know she didn't know how to make the food.
Shut up. I know where to buy the maple donuts. That's what matters.
Fair.
And thank you for joining us. We are your hosts. My name's Monica.
I'm Cash.
I'm Nova.
And this is Very Anxious at Podcast. Oh, nope. Very Anxious at Bedtime, the podcast.
The podcast.
It's really just anxious at bedtime. I added the very for no reason.
Today's going to be a little bit different because we are doing a mini episode. If you're from Oregon, I'm sure you've heard of the House of Mystery. It's this cool roadside attraction in Gold Hill that's only open from May to October. We went in October and it was so pretty.
It was pretty.
If you like looking at fall foliage, I definitely recommend you go because even just for that, it's gorgeous.
It was. It was a beautiful sight.
I'm so jealous. I've been wanting to go there for years.
I didn't know what the hell it was. I just so happened to drive by it, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, it sounds spooky, stop. And we did. I wish I would have taken you when we were there. That would have been fun.
Yeah, would have. There was only one time I almost went, and it was with mom. But when we went there, it was closed for the season. I was so heartbroken.
Oh, I know. It's such a short window, and I always forget because we've done that too. I think it was like the beginning of November a few times. We're like, oh, let's go check it out again. No.
And there's a giant ass billboard I used to pass all the time. So
Mm-hmm.
we knew the freaking dates. I just, you know, never remembered them. So I'm like, oh, on the way back, we're going to stop by the Vortex again. Never happened.
Mm-mm. It's just that once.
Real quick, and you can cut this out if you did, but did you include the fact that that's where Gravity Falls is based on, the cartoon?
No, I didn't, but I had a feeling you were going to bring it up. So
Well, boom shakalak. There you go.
I was like, she's got that part covered. If you go, a tour guide will tell you about the place, but it's mostly about getting to see all the weirdness for yourself, and that's what makes it fun. In one area, there's a house that is leaning to the side. It's been said that it was built as an office for a mining company, but after being built, it slid off its foundation, and that's why it's at the angle that it is. However, that doesn't explain the weirdness going on inside the house. Do you remember in 2020 when something was going on with the Earth's gravitational pull and everybody was making their broom stand up?
Yeah.
I do. I remember when everyone was like, let me make my broom stand straight up for no reason. And that was all anybody did for a fucking month.
Yeah. You can do that at the House of Mystery any day of the week with no effort. It was really weird to see. Now it would probably be a little bit less weird because we've seen it all over the internet, but it's still weird. There's a part of the house that looks like it has a steep incline, but if you set a water bottle at the bottom, it will roll uphill.
It goes in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's like that one hill or like on the outskirts of town where you pour water out on it. The water goes up instead of down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that. Is that on Gravity Hill?
I think so,
That's crazy.
right?
I don't want to mention Gravity Hill and then leave it at that in case nobody knows what it is. We'll probably do an episode on it at some point. But basically,
It's a road.
it's a road. There's a few of them throughout at least the US that I know of. If you park at one spot, your car gets like pushed uphill and it's really weird.
If you put it in neutral, yeah, and, it's one of them ones, one of those roads.
But anyway, there's lots of weird stuff like that at the House of Mystery. Then outside the house, two people can stand on flat ground and they even show you with a level that it is flat and you can like make sure for yourself and check it and everything. It seems legit. But one person will appear taller than the other person. And then if they switch spots, the shorter person then becomes the taller person. And the taller person is then the shorter person. It's weird. You have to see it for yourself. It's crazy. You can look up even videos on TikTok and people show it happening. The House of Mystery is famous because it's a hotspot for weird optical illusions and gravity issues like that. The legend says that the Native Americans refused to step foot in the area, calling it a forbidden land. It has also been said that travelers have had issues passing through it because their horses would refuse to even walk on the land.
I presume that was before cars.
Yeah, that's fair. I wonder if cars have had issues going there.
I wonder if modern day horses are like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if you could take your horse. In 1914, a prospector named William McCullough found the house and convinced his friend John Lister to leave Scotland to come see it. Lister basically ended up devoting his entire life to understand this place. Lister went on to spend the next 40 years running more than 14,000 experiments. In 1930, he opened it up as a roadside attraction, but I don't think for a second that that's all that it was to him. Lister even reached out and had correspondence with Albert Einstein about this place. I wish I could tell you what any of that correspondence or research entailed, but I can't because Lister burned all of his findings. He burned everything and just said, the world isn't yet ready for what goes on here.
That's some crazy shit too.
Yeah, isn't it? I heard that and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, dude, I'd be tripping. Like, if I found some shit, I was like, I gotta burn this. Nobody can know. Nobody's ready for this. That's some deep shit.
I think that adds something to my list of things I want to know in my lifetime. Because what the heck is going on that you don't think? Is it like a government thing, like with aliens, where for so long they're like, the public will freak out if they know? Or is it something else that he's like, they will not understand?
Is it a portal?
Is it a portal? And that's why, because it was like a danger thing. He didn't want people trying to go through the portal.
Where everyone thinks it's all, aliens and shit. It's really just a portal to different dimensions. And he's seeing that and he's like, I'm not going to report on this because then people will figure out how to go interdimensional and fuck that.
Exactly. Or even something as simple as like, well, not as simple, it's still an out there theory, but like a Bigfoot den maybe. And he doesn't want everybody knowing it's a Bigfoot den. So like what if they come and they try to harm the Bigfoots or something? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We never got an answer. Is it Bigfoot or Big Feets?
Both.
Yes.
Bigfooteds.
That's so crazy thinking about. Because, like, okay, so as someone who has seen Gravity Falls numerous times, like well over 50, back to back, I'm a fan.
Are you saying you watched every single episode over 50 times?
Most likely. I have not kept count, but it is a huge possibility.
That's awesome.
That's how it is for me, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That show was like my life for so long. But like that just ties into so much of the show. And like I can see why the show is exactly how it is, especially being based off of that place. Because in that show, there's portals, there's monsters, magic, even aliens at one point. Like it's so fucking crazy. There's one episode where there's this UFO that's like disguised as a hill because like it's just been so overgrown. At a quick glance, like, it's just a hill. But then, the uncle and Dipper, like they go into it and it's actually UFO.
That is crazy. I haven't seen the show.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually watched Gravity Falls.
Maybe that'll be our fall watch.
You guys need to, it's so good. But there's just so much. And like the whole burning everything, that's pretty similar to what the one uncle did. So the one uncle, like he moved to Gravity Falls. He was this like scientist guy. And he had a bunch of research, and he decided that people weren't ready to know everything that happens there. So he like had these three
Hmm.
journals, and he like hid them all in like various different spots. And he was like, the world's not ready to know this kind of shit. And like, oh, it's so crazy.
That's wild.
It's based off the guy you just said.
Yeah, it sounds like it's based off John Lister.
That's so awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you guys absolutely need to watch the show.
I think we will.
Everything will make so much sense. My mind is boggling right now.
If I see myself in that shit because I went to that Vortex place, I'm gonna be so mad. You know, I might not even be mad. I might be super happy. Who knows?
It's a cartoon.
Depends on how they depict me.
That's fair.
I'd be like, where's my royalty check?
Yeah.
I'm not it's not even about the money. I just want to know how I was depicted.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely watch that. But speaking of John Lister, after his passing, his wife sold the attraction, and the new owners and their family have kept it open and running ever since. A lot of people over the decades have been very vocal about the fact that they think it's all an optical illusion and nothing more. They think that the house was built with false perspective with the intent of being made into a roadside attraction. But I don't agree with them. Why would Lister dedicate his entire life and leave his home country for a hoax?
And burn all the fucking documents that he had.
And yeah,
Exactly.
other people believe that the Oregon vortex has its own force field, a spherical one that's half above the ground and half under the ground. So if you picture like the earth from the side and the ground, like a dome on top and then a dome on the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just for like the vortex though, just for that area.
Yeah, just for that area, which maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, that's so crazy. That's another thing that they show in Gravity Falls.
Is it really? I should have just watched the show for my research.
Yeah. Yeah, you really need to. Oh my God.
This episode means nothing. Everyone's gonna be like, I've seen Gravity Falls, guys. Everybody but us.
I guess, yeah. I kind of feel like it could be something else, something that maybe we don't understand and maybe we never will. But weirdly enough, there are also attractions like this one in different places, at least throughout the US. So, one, weirdly enough, is the Montana Vortex. We have not been to that one, but it sounds very similar to the Oregon Vortex. And if you look at the pictures, it looks very much the same type of experience. Then there's the Pennsylvania's Laurel Caverns, which is the largest cave system in Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
Yeah, caves freak me out. So,
I've never been to Pennsylvania.
me either.
Heard they have vampires. That's Transylvania, isn't it?
Uh-huh. There's another one in North Carolina called North Carolina's Mystery Hill. Again, it seems pretty similar, but more like a science works museum. It has bull riding, axe throwing, those giant bubbles that you can like put around people, stuff like that. Then there's another one in Santa Cruz called the Santa Cruz Mystery Spot, which was discovered in 1939 by a group of surveyors. There are some theories specifically for the California one, but they could work for the Oregon one too. The first one is there's metal buried under the ground to guide spacecraft so they know where to land. The second one is there's a spacecraft itself buried under the ground, and that's what causes the anomalies. The third one is there's carbon dioxide leaking out from the ground. And the fourth one is there's a large ozone layer hole. My personal favorite theory is the UFO buried under the ground.
Ditto. So much of that reminds me of the S. Walker Ranch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the show of it?
Yeah, that documentary. I watched it like 2 years ago, I
Hmm.
think, but I don't remember it very well.
Ooh, you gotta rewatch it. They've came out with more episodes since then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so good.
But that'd be wild if there's just like UFOs buried all over America.
Right? Would not surprise me.
Do you guys want to talk theories or anything? That's everything I've got, so.
Okay, so back when I was like super hyper fixated on like looking up the Oregon Vortex, I didn't really like look too much into the history, honestly. But I would look it up on like Google Maps all the time because again, I was like very obsessed with the show and I really wanted to go see it. And on Google Maps, I remember I found this one really peculiar area that's like extremely close to it. And it's just this very random triangular shape in the middle of the woods. Like
What?
you can like zoom in. Yeah, you can zoom in and there is like a little bit of a dirt road, but it's just this complete random giant triangular shape, just made of trees like in the middle of it. It's so fucking weird. I'll look up a picture and send it to you.
Okay.
But I remember thinking like of it at the time. I was like, oh my God, aliens, weird shit. Because in the show Gravity Falls too, there's Bill Cipher. He's the bad guy, and
Hmm.
he's like an Illuminati symbol. He's just a triangle with an eye.
Oh,
And I was like, it's Bill. It
yeah.
definitely is super strange all around, and I love every single bit of it.
Hmm.
I love how much Gravity Falls like really captured, like how much story behind it.
Yeah, that's wild.
You guys absolutely need to watch that show like ASAP. Like start watching it today, please.
Okay.
You're gonna make it very hard for me to watch. I don't like being told what to do. On the commercials where they're like, "Call now," I turn off the TV or turn the channel. I'm like, "Fuck you, get out of here."
Don't watch it. Never watch it.
Yeah, don't watch it ever.
Ooh, I really want to watch it now.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely watch it. And maybe I'll learn some new stuff and we'll do a part two or something. I wanted to dive more into all of the other locations, but I couldn't find much information. But I wonder if all of the the horses not wanting to walk on the land and stuff happened at the other spots too.
Ditto.
I just wish I remembered our trip better. It was like 7 years ago. I don't remember anything creepy happening, do you?
No, it was a pretty cool trip, but nothing really happened besides, we gotta experience it.
Yeah.
Ooh. They used to have a rule, I just remembered. I don't know if it's like still active or not, because like
Mm.
people have posted TikToks about it. But they did have a rule at one point that might still be active, where you could not bring any cameras, any recording devices, nothing like that.
Oh, that's weird.
And they wouldn't say why.
Yeah, no, when we went, they asked you, please take pictures, tag us on social media.
They did say no videos, but they allowed you to take pictures.
I do think I remember no videos. That's weird.
Also, the other cool thing that could have happened is I might possibly be in an episode of Gravity Falls, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to that place where they wrote the show about. So, I'll tell you which character I am once I decide to watch it.
Maybe you fell into the, what's it called? The porthole? That's not the word. You fell into the vortex.
Portal.
Oh my gosh. I need sleep.
She said maybe you fell into the porthole, the big old hole of port.
It's been such a stressful, oh, I was gonna say month, but it's the first day of the month.
Oh my God, September's been wild.
And that speaks volumes.
Uh-huh.
I'm exhausted.
I know it's against the rules, but I would love to take some sort of like audio recording thing in with me because I feel like it's gonna pick up some weird shit. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
why they tell people not to, is because maybe it tracks back to that guy's research. Like you'll pick up stuff that people aren't ready for.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe it's gonna fuck with the UFO below ground. The alien's trying to get out of there, and you're gonna mess up a signal
Like how you have to turn off your phone when you're in a hospital.
or an airplane.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Now I'm so intrigued. Why can't you do videos?
Right?
Maybe it'll pick up screaming or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's what I'm imagining.
Hmm. Maybe you'll catch a Bigfoot in the trees. In the theme song for Gravity Falls, in like the split second, you can see a Bigfoot like behind a tree. It's so cool.
That's where they got me.
That was your cameo in the show.
They put me in the intro just swinging from a tree. That's fucked up.
So that wraps up our mini episode. If you've been to the Oregon Vortex or any of the other locations, send us your stories. We'd love to read that. If you or somebody you know has experienced the paranormal in any capacity and would like to have your story read on the pod, send us that story to anxiousatbedtimepodcast@gmail.com. You can follow our social medias. We have TikTok and Instagram. They're both Anxious at Bedtime.
Like, follow, share, subscribe.
If there's anything that you would like us to cover, tell us.
Got something you want to know about, but you don't want to read it? I don't either. Monica, she'll read that shit.
Force
She'll
me
look
to
it
do
up.
it.
Nova will. They'll research it. We'll tell you about that. I'll react to it.
My hype man.
Yeah.
The world might seem like a scary place with things like buried UFOs and vortexes, but we're probably fine.
We're probably fine.
We're probably fine.
Sleep tight, don't be too anxious, and don't fall in the vortex.